What if I told you that everything you've been taught to fear is actually protecting the very thing that terrifies you most? What if the monsters you've been running from your entire life are nothing more than shadows cast by your own potential? Tonight, I want to challenge everything you think you know about fear. We've been conditioned to believe that fear is our enemy, that it's something to be conquered, defeated, or medicated away. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever been told? What if fear isn't the problem at all, but rather the symptom of something far more insidious lurking beneath the surface? You say, fear has become the great excuse of our generation. We say we're afraid of failure, but we're not really afraid of failing. We're afraid of discovering that we might actually succeed and then have to live up to that success. We claim we're afraid of rejection, but what we're truly terrified of is acceptance. Because acceptance means we can no longer hide behind the comfortable story that the world is against us. We insist we're afraid of change, but change isn't what paralyzes us. It's the possibility that change might reveal we've been living a lie about who we really are. The real fear, the one that keeps you awake at night and makes your chest tight when you're alone with your thoughts, isn't about external circumstances at all. It's the bone-deep terror that you might actually be capable of extraordinary things. It's the horrifying possibility that you've been playing small not because you had to, but because you chose to. It's the devastating realization that every dream you've buried, every goal you've abandoned, every risk you've avoided wasn't because the world was too dangerous, but because you were too afraid of your own power. Think about it. When was the last time you had a brilliant idea and immediately started listing all the reasons it wouldn't work? When was the last time you felt a surge of excitement about a possibility, only to crush it with practical concerns before it could even take its first breath? That's not wisdom. That's fear disguised as rationality. That's not being realistic. That's being terrified of your own potential. We've mastered the art of self-sabotage and called it self-protection. We've perfected the skill of talking ourselves out of greatness and labeled it maturity. We've become experts at finding evidence for why we can't, shouldn't, or won't, because collecting that evidence is so much safer than testing our theories in the real world. But here's what no one wants to admit every time you choose the safe path: the familiar routine, the comfortable limitation. You're not protecting yourself from failure. You're guaranteeing it. You're not avoiding pain. You're ensuring it. Because the pain of living below your potential, of dying with your music still in you, of reaching the end of your life and wondering, what if, is infinitely more devastating than any temporary discomfort that comes from stretching beyond your current boundaries. The lie of fear whispers that you're not ready, not qualified, not experienced enough, not connected enough, not lucky enough. It tells you to wait for permission, to gather more credentials, to perfect your plan before you take a single step. It convinces you that everyone else has some secret knowledge, some special advantage, some unique gift that you lack. But that's exactly what it is: a lie designed to keep you exactly where you are. The truth is, readiness is a myth. No one is ever truly ready for the next level of their life. Every successful person you admire, every leader you look up to, Every innovator who changed the world started before they were ready. With incomplete information, insufficient resources, and imperfect plans, they didn't have some magical immunity to fear. They just refused to let fear make their decisions for them. You know what you're really running from? You're running from the responsibility that comes with recognizing your own capability. You're running from the accountability that arrives when you stop making excuses. You're running from the version of yourself that exists on the other side of your comfort zone. The version that doesn't need permission, doesn't wait for perfect conditions, and doesn't apologize for taking up space in the world. That version of you is terrifying because it's powerful. It's frightening because it's free. It's intimidating because it doesn't need validation from others to know its worth. That version of you makes decisions based on vision, not fear. It takes action based on possibility, not probability. It builds bridges where others see walls and finds opportunities where others see obstacles. So, what are you going to do with this truth? Are you going to nod along? Feel inspired for approximately 15 minutes, and then return to the same patterns that have kept you stuck? Or are you going to finally acknowledge that the only thing standing between you and the life you claim to want is your willingness to stop believing the lie that you're not capable of having it? The choice is yours. It always has been. Fear will still be there tomorrow, whispering its familiar refrains, painting worst-case scenarios, and offering you every reason to stay small. But now you know the truth. Fear isn't trying to protect you from danger. It's trying to protect you from your own magnificence. And that protection is the very thing that's been destroying you all along. The question isn't whether you'll feel fear as you step into your potential. You will. The question is whether you'll finally stop letting fear be the author of your story. Because your dreams are waiting. Your potential is calling. And the world needs what you have to offer. But none of that matters if you keep choosing the lie over the truth, the safe over the significant, the familiar prison over the frightening freedom. The time for running is over. The only question left is, what will you run toward?